Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. In today's video, we're going to be getting the Z ready to go to the track. Now you heard me right, we are going to the racetrack. This coming weekend, I'm going to be going to TMP in Cayuga. It's in Haldeman County, and we're going to be heading down there to go take the Z for a couple laps around their track. So I've been there before, I took the Accord on there multiple times, and my original intent of the Mini Cooper that I purchased a while ago was to make that thing a track car. Now that thing is still being built, there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be done, but what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be getting the wheels, we're going to be taking them off the car, we're getting new stickier tires mounted on them, and we're doing a couple things to get this thing ready. So let's take the wheels off the car and I'll tell you what we're going to be doing afterwards. So both wheels are now removed from the car. Now I already went ahead and cleaned them thoroughly so that there wouldn't be any more dirt found on the wheel. I removed the center caps and I also removed all of the wheel weights so that when I bring this to the shop, they're not gonna be in a hurry to get this job done. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be switching from 325/30 ZR20 tires to 295/30 ZR20 tires. Now the difference between this setup and this setup, let alone the specs of it, like the width, the composition of the rubber itself is a lot softer and stickier on this new set. So this should do me really good at the track. So these tires are an 80 compound, so a very sticky sub 100 compound. These Cup 2s are a very nice compound, but they could be a little bit stickier. These here are 180s. Nothing bad by any means, but still, room for improvement. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be bringing these inside the Accord, and I'm gonna bring the Accord down to the shop to get them switched. So next up, what we're gonna be doing is changing up the ride height in the front. I need to lower it a little bit. I'm still trying to dial in the suspension to how I want. So the front end needs to be lowered about 1/2 inch. And after that's done, I'm gonna bring the vehicle out to get it aligned. So the rear is sitting great, especially with the new tires on it. It's sitting right where I want it. There's no rubbing, no nothing. But the front needs to be dropped a tiny bit. So I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. So to change the ride height of this shock, what we need to do is make this lower, so a little bit smaller, so that the ride height at the wheel goes up. So the bottom part needs to come up, so the bottom cup needs to be pulled up into the shock. So this total size here is going to be smaller after we're done adjusting this. So to get that done, we need to make this go up, so we need to turn this clockwise. So I adjusted this 12 notches, so 2 full rotations. I'm just gonna do a couple more so I get to 16, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the passenger side of the vehicle. Now, since we have the wheel off the car to do this procedure, we can actually go ahead and take a look at how much material we have left for the brake pads. We can take a look at the rotor thickness, and we can see if we have any leaks found inside of here. Now, everything is all good. I've already inspected it all. Now, another thing to check is how much tire you have left. So we still have a lot of meat left on these tires up front, so these should last us a track day. Now, I don't know how much I'm actually going to be lapping tomorrow, so it's for sure a great idea to check all this stuff before you go ahead and just throw your car on the racetrack. You're gonna be beating on the car, and it's gonna be going under some pretty harsh conditions, so it's nice to know that you're gonna be in good hands. So if you need to press the brakes, they're gonna work. If you need to turn, the tires are gonna get grip. If you need to go over a bump, the suspension's gonna do that no problem. So you're just basically gonna be doing a once over on the entire vehicle to make sure that it's all great. Now I'm gonna be cutting it pretty close to time, so at 4 o'clock I gotta bring this thing down to the alignment shop to get it aligned, so that's gonna be ready for the track. But in the meantime, I just went over all the fluids to make sure everything was good. So the coolant's good, the engine oil is all fine. Now I'm gonna be bringing more of all of that when we go to the track, so that should something happen, should I, burn something or whatever, I will have some extra. I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather bring it along with me and not have to use it than not bring it with me and need it. I'm also gonna be bringing a tire pressure gauge to make sure that all the pressures for my tires are the same. So there's a whole bunch of things that you guys can bring with you to the track. You can bring nothing and it might be great for you, or you can also bring nothing and be completely screwed over. Now after I bring it to the alignment shop, I need to do an oil change on this thing. I've put just almost 5,000 kilometers on the car since I've owned it, and it's time to do an oil filter and an oil fluid change on the car. When I bring it back from the track, I might, inspect it some more. I might take a look at it, see how everything is, and monitor everything. So check if my brake pads are still the same, see how much material I went through. If I need to buy new pads or something like that, I'll probably buy them and replace them. But it's a good idea to take a look at everything right now, mark it down, monitor it, keep track of all that, and then once you get back from the track, see where you're at. That's pretty much all you're doing. So just like any car, if you take it to the track and it's a stock vehicle or close to, you're gonna notice some things that are, not perform so good after the first or second lap. Now, when I brought my Accord to the track, I noticed that the brakes were the first part to go on me. So I noticed a lot of brake fade, even with better pads, better fluid, and better rotors after the first lap. Now that's because of the excess heat that was generated from the brakes. So I'm gonna take note of that when I go to the track. I also looked into it a little bit, the cooling system on this car. Now a lot of people say that the cooling system for the coolant and also the temperature for the engine oil, those are two different things on these Z motors that should be upgraded if you plan on tracking your car. So I'm gonna go to the track. I'm probably not gonna beat the hell out of the car, but I am gonna have some fun with it and see, what's what. See what needs to be upgraded, see what needs to be changed. And what's really cool too, is that not only do I have an OBD2 port where I can see all that stuff, all the temperatures, but inside the car, I also have some gauges in here. So this one here is a clock. That's not really gonna be that useful. This here is battery voltage. This here is oil temperature. So this is a very crucial one to keep track of when you go to the track if you guys have a Z. This here is a nice feature that's pre-installed on these Zs. Now these two here, I would probably change out, maybe if there is something out there. If there is, and you guys know of it, let me know, comment section down there, because battery voltage isn't really that important and I don't need to keep track of the time while I'm racing. So when you're driving up here, that's not one of your priorities. So if you can have some other gauges in here that'll show you some relevant information, that would be ideal. But I can also see the coolant temperature down here, fuel level, that's kind of a given. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so I just got home from getting the car aligned. Now I kind of got thinking, well, I do need to do an oil change, but that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm kind of considering putting the stock 19s back on the car, because if I were to break one of these things or dent it or do something stupid at the track with it, it would suck having to replace one of these wheels. This setup is quite expensive in comparison to the stock 19s. So what I think I'm gonna do is throw the stock ones on there. If I go through those tires, 19-inch tires are cheaper than 20s. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, I do need to do an oil change. I'm gonna be doing the first one on the car. So guys, the Z is pretty much done and how I want to get it ready for the track. Now, if I had a set of 18-inch wheels, I would rather put those on than a set of bigger wheels like 19s or even 20s, but that's not exactly the case. So I'm going to be sticking out with these stock wheels. Hopefully they do me pretty good. I'm going to have a ton of fun. I know I will. I'll have more information on my Instagram if you guys want to follow me or even meet me there. You guys can check that out. I've got more information in the description box. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.